Investing in stocks can seem complicated to a novice, but it doesn't have to be. So today, we'll be dissecting how the stock exchange works, how companies earn from this, and how you can create a passive source of income as well. Generally, the Philippine Stock Exchange is a private corporation with a regulatory public interest function. It could be categorized as a market operator, enabling investors to avail of the investment opportunities and listed securities through the trading process. On the flip side, listed securities are able to raise funds from public investors. And we're not just talking retail investors, but also insurance companies, banks, and institutions. When it comes to secondary trading, an existing stockholder opts to buy or sell securities which are listed in the market using the PSC's facilities. Now, before learning how to invest in a company via the PSC, why don't you ask yourself what the company stands to gain from listing itself in the stock market so you'll know that it's in there for the right reasons?
In Asia, there's a predominance of family-owned corporations. And there comes a time in the life of any family-owned corporation where they want to also be able to sustain what has been achieved, to pass it on to the next generation, and even to upgrade in terms of corporate governance. And so that would be a very relevant motivation for the founder to consider listing. So once listed, the benefits all the more multiply. You are able to tap the capital markets for your projects. If you are a company who wants to establish more branch network, if you want to create more factories, if you think that you need funds to establish state-of-the-art facilities to be able to compete on a regional, if not global scale, then being listed provides you that avenue.
Attorney Refrand believes that apart from seeing the whole country and beyond as a company's source of gaining the necessary funds to make the company grow, being listed in the PSC also pushes that company to always be in check because there are regulatory requirements that need to be fulfilled. And full disclosure at all times gives a company no choice but to always act prudently and have everything in order for the world to witness, as it is accountable to stockholders and stakeholders alike.
There's also additional benefits because now you know how much your company is worth. Before listing, probably you as a founder and owner would have your own idea of how much your company is worth, right? But you know, what we've seen, a lot of companies probably underestimate the value of their company. And the market gives you that premium because they believe in management, because they believe that on a forward-looking basis, you are able to generate more businesses and in turn give more dividends or income to the investors. And finally, it's also ultimately being listed is a gold standard. You are in the big league. It gives you a seal of excellence. What that does is when you are marketing your company, marketing your product locally or even outside of the Philippines, that quality control standard, when you have that, it actually opens more doors for you.
To be able to invest, you'll need to open an account with a registered broker of the SEC. This broker will run you through terms and conditions of investing in the PSC, and he or she will help you through the process. Much like opening a bank account with a bank representative, you and your broker will need to do this in person, so the broker knows that he or she is dealing with a real person. You will then be asked to choose which mode of investing you'd like to partake in. The traditional route would consist of the broker getting a call from you and executing your instructions. As an alternative, there are technological means if you want to trade yourself online, via PC or mobile phone after consulting your broker. Once that's squared away, it's now all about how much you would like to invest, or how much you actually have to experiment with the stock market. For as low as 5,000 pesos, you could already transact in the stock exchange, depending on what security you want. Truth be told, it's highly possible that all the different misconceptions about investing has put a hold on your journey to stock market investing. Misconceptions like, you're not rich enough, it's like gambling, it's complicated. Well, Attorney Refrand begs to differ.
It's really a question of awareness and really exposure. You don't need millions and millions to invest. Obviously, the more funds you have, the more opportunities you have in terms of diversifying. But to start with, you don't need a lot of funds.
He also says that while investing in stocks can help augment your income, growth doesn't come overnight and you'll have to be patient with it. And lastly, he believes that investing in stocks isn't gambling, so long as you invest in products that you patronize and believe in, and as long as you have trust in management and do your due diligence. In the end, it's all about educating the Filipino public about shifting priorities and knowing that there are options out there to make money grow instead of always spending it the minute it comes in.
So rather than buying the most up-to-date phones or probably upgrading your wardrobe, I would always say look towards the future and make sure that you are also not just living in the moment, but also saving up for the future. So that's where we come in. That's where financial literacy comes in. That's where an exchange like the PSE comes in order to educate the Filipinos about alternative investment opportunities for them.